Hey, what's up, guys? Jesse Rush with Fling Got Bows, and let me get away from the weed eater guy running his motor over there. Today I'm going to just show you a really cool arrow, and then I'm going to paint it, following some tribal designs. I just finished this arrow. I didn't make the video of fletching the arrow or putting this Burlington chert arrowhead on with actually with some of that with some of the pine pitch that I made the other day. God, there's mowers going off everywhere. The reason being that I didn't make the full video of how to make this is because I've made them before. But let me just give you the rundown on what this arrow is, so you guys can be on the same page with me here. Still drying, but the center area from where my finger is to here is rivercane. This knock is an insert made of hardwood, mahogany to be exact, and this insert is also mahogany, and it's about 6 inches long, maybe 5 inches long, somewhere in there. And yeah, this is rivercane, nodes chopped off. I actually used rivercane that was already dry while it was standing, so I didn't have to really dry it out. I went through about 6 pieces and ended up with this one, which was the straightest one. It's not too bad. I've had them slightly bent a little bit, and as long as from tip to tip they're straight, they can have a little wobble as they go down, and they still fly pretty freaking good. Feathers. These are just mallard duck feathers, all off the same wing, or the same side of the feather, on the same wing, and that makes them spiral all the same direction, and they come out really nice like that. Still need to do a little trimming. I think I'm going to go see how that bottom one curves over. The top one's like a point. I'm going to make them all like the bottom one. But it really doesn't matter as far as flight goes. They've been sinew wrapped on with hide glue mixed in with the sinew. I put a little hide glue inside the knock. Has a little a shaft that goes down about 1 inch, and I put a little hide glue around it when I shoved it in there last night. And the same thing with this insert, the foreshaft. It has about this much that goes down in, and I put a lot of hide glue in there too, and then I wrapped it with sinew around it so it can't split the arrow, the rivercane. And now I'm going to paint this, and then once I've painted it, I will then seal it with polyurethane. Talk to you a little bit about the head. This is a very special head that I'm going to use for hunting this year. This is a flint-knapped chert arrowhead that was given to me by a person on YouTube who saw my video of me making some arrows out of some metal heads and stuff, and the guy was really nice, and he sent me some turkey feathers for free, and this Burlington arrowhead, and a obsidian arrowhead. The obsidian arrowhead I already put on an arrow, and like a dumb ass, I was target shooting with it, and the second shot with it, the arrow flew great, and I went and got my pops and said, "Hey Dad, watch this." And I shot, and I missed the target the second time, and it hit the metal trailer that was behind it, and it broke the obsidian arrowhead. After letting that sinew dry a little bit on the arrow that I'm making, I'm going to go ahead and get to painting it. So I'm going to clear back the spot here. You don't need much. And first, in order to paint this, I'm going to need a paintbrush. So I'll take an old feather, piece of a feather that I have, and a piece of this rabbit fur from the rabbit that I killed. Now we'll cut this excess sinew off so it's not dangling in my paint. And there you go, guys. There's a primitive paintbrush. Rabbit fur on the end of a piece of a feather. Now let's get our paint together. We've got our paintbrush, got our palette, we've got some paint. So I'm going to use red, yellow, and white. These are pretty regularly used paints of Native Americans. And from everything I found online, with arrows, squiggly lines and circles, you know, like stripes on the arrow, that was pretty much what they used. They didn't have like a certain tribe did a certain thing. They just all kind of like marked their arrows so that they would know who killed what, and their family could get a little bit of that food. So here's how I laid out my paint, and I hope you can see that. Just make sure. Yeah. And here's the arrow. So, let's get to painting. First, let me show you my knife. I broke my Bear Grylls knife yesterday. The handle broke on it. So I went ahead and took a pig's femur bone and made a handle, and then wrapped it with sinew and hide glue. And I'm really hoping this turns out to be a really good handle for a knife. It's wrapped really good, has a lot of sinew, and it's pretty sturdy. I'm going to let it seal and dry real good for about a week before I put any kind of pressure on it, but it's already pretty sturdy. I could definitely cut with it, but just wanted to show you that. Okay, well, let's start in red first since it's the darkest. And let's see what we got going here. Alright, so I usually paint my sinew. You don't have to. Personal preference. But then I like to make a little red line. In between each feather. I like making my nocks yellow because you can see them. So there's all the red paint on this arrow. Make sure I'm in focus. You guys can see that very well. There you go. Let you check out the feather side. There's the lines and the feathers I was telling you about. And there's the knock. Alrighty, now just give me a second here and we'll get back on the yellow. Alright guys, well I've got my paintbrush washed out. Rabbit fur washes out real nice and easy. The red came right out of this rabbit fur. And there it is. Alright, so let's get into the yellow. Oh yeah, the yellow is nice and thick. And you can mix colors too, you know. Like I could make this yellow and orange, obviously, in the blink of an eye. But I'm going to put it on here like this. See how it looks. It's a bright yellow, which I kind of like. Let me tell you a little something about deer vision. The color red in deer's vision looks yellow. And the color yellow is also like a brownish color. As well as the color orange. They're not colorblind. A lot of people think all they see is black and white. That's a load of shit. They can see color. They just see colors differently than humans. And the color red blends in with greens and browns and yellows. It looks natural. I still suggest when you're wearing orange, you gun hunters, to go ahead and still have a camo look to your orange with some black lines in it. Alrighty guys. Well, I'm got the brush cleaned up and I'm moving into white. Alright guys, well, I finished her up. The battery died on my phone. I had to let it charge for a while before I could film more, but here is the finished arrow. I ended up using just a tiny bit of black, and I've already covered it with polyurethane, and I'm allowing it to dry at the present time. But there's the back. See the little dots of black? I did some more dots in that area. And then I did 2 white stripes and an orange stripe. And then black tip. So, let me give you a view of the whole arrow. And there it is, guys. And this is a primitive rivercane arrow with mahogany insert nock and a mahogany foreshaft with a Burlington chert arrowhead. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. And I'm Jesse Rush with Flinga Bows. Take it easy. What's up, guys? Just want to add something real quick. I want to show you guys my number 1, 2, and 3 arrows. I've got about 25 arrows now. These are my favorite right here. This one I haven't shot yet, but I'm getting pretty good at making them, and I know how it's going to shoot. That's actually going to be a really good arrow. But this is my number 1 arrow in the middle. That son of a gun is made of bamboo. It's got regular bamboo self nock. The fletching is I don't know. Might be a buzzard, and I found it on the ground, and buzzards are illegal to have. But anyway, and this is a mahogany shaft, a little bit more bendy than the other shaft, but whew, this thing flies straight, I'm here to tell you. And that's a beer bottle bottom arrowhead, hafted on with sinew. And this, up until this point, I haven't shot this one yet, so right now I'm going to say this is my number 2 arrow. It's substantially longer, and I'm going to tell you why. See how much longer it is? The reason it's so much longer is because this is rivercane for number 1. It's much lighter than bamboo. This is also rivercane. And number 2, another reason it's so much longer is because it's got a bone arrowhead. That's actual bone. And bone is a lot lighter than glass and stone. So I had to make the arrow a little bit longer so that the weight of the arrow would make up and it will shoot like the other ones. And also I had to add a little bit extra sinew on the front and a little bit more pine pitch. Now this actually does have a shaft, a foreshaft, but it's very small. And it's completely covered with sinew and everything, so you can't even see it. This foreshaft only sticks out about that far. Goes down in here about, well, as far as the sinew does, right to my thumb. But it's sticking out only that much, and the arrowhead's put into half of it, and then I just wrapped it with a lot of sinew. The foreshaft on this is much smaller than the rest of the arrow. And it's funny because the feathers on this are horrible. And it doesn't matter. This thing flies perfectly straight. 2 of the feathers are pretty decent shape still, but one of them is just mutilated. But it doesn't matter. This thing flies great. I'm not going to fix something that ain't broke. It flies incredible. So that was my number 1 arrow for a long time. I had a small game point on it. I ripped the small game point off of it and put the bone point on it because I'm going to do some hog and deer hunting this weekend. This will be my number 1 arrow. Once this is completely seasoned and dried, I may shoot it into some hay target as to not mess up the arrowhead. And this is the one I just made with you guys. And I trimmed up the feathers too, by the way, on this one. But maybe this will become my number 1, and this will be the first one I shoot. Anyway, those are my 3 hunting arrows for this weekend. Hope you enjoy them. Peace.